I know you mentioned benzene a little bit. We used to kind of track benzene on our podcast, and you kind of see oil move up and benzene move up and down kind of equally. And I think you kind of mentioned the two are sort of going in semi-different directions these days. We've seen benzene track up from the $3.10 range earlier in the quarter to I think it's $3.60 these days, at least on a contract basis. So certainly moving upwards. What's your take?
Even higher, right?
Yeah.
And now it kind of receded a little bit.
Yep.
And and again, that's interesting, and it speaks to that benzene's got its own personality, that it's not a function of crude or gasoline, although
it's the first person to ever give benzene a personality. That's given personas to each of these.
I got a whole thing on ethylene and propylene. Yeah. But yeah, that benzene itself, it's had it's certainly had its moments over the past year with styrene operating demand, that it's so sensitive to the styrene operating rates, but also that the entire aromatics complex is affected by ethylbenzene demand and gasoline, and toluene and xylene demand and gasoline. So, that's why it's always very important to see where refinery operating rates are. We are, driving season is here.
Yep.
So what does that mean? Well, it's already been prepared for. So now we're just watching the economics of it. And so all the plays are short-term plays, because the long-term plays were made, back in January for this time. So we're here. So I think that that overall the benzene market itself, again, it's always chasing who's the low cost and who's going to pay for it. And then from my understanding, is that's resulted in material coming from Asia to the U.S. the volumes have gotten lower and lower. So there's not as much coming. There is some coming, but not as much as maybe is needed.
Sure.
So there could be a price floor there. Maybe it did get overheated, and that's where you see what's really, it's not necessarily a price slide. Maybe it's more of a correction. I think that's where the spot market is extremely useful, because if people say, well, benzene dropped, look at that, March to April. Well, the spot market has really been sitting in a little circle now, right around that contract price. So maybe this is the right price for right now.
Yep.